Hello folks, welcome to Lexi IS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty, Sushma TP. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? Russia warns of catastrophic consequences if US goes through its threats of bombing Iran. In this article, we will be seeing as to why is it in use, what is the relevance of it to UPSC, that is a GS paper 2. If US is threatening Iran, then why is Russia trying to come in and play a mediation between US and Iran, especially in a point of time when Putin is trying to prioritize having a good relationship with Trump on the backdrop of Russia-Ukraine war. This is the course of the video. Look at this. While Moscow has largely avoided direct criticism of Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin has prioritized strengthening ties with Washington, a development that raised concerns in Ukraine and among European allies. Why, we will see in the course of the video. Before that, we have a small announcement from Lexi IS Academy. If your dream of civil service examination is always there with you burning like a fire, be it a working professional, graduate, or a student studying, look no further. You have found your one stop destination, that is your Legacy IS Academy, which makes sure that the batch limit is kept to 40 member per batch. The courses and classes have been starting. For more information on this, you have all of the information with regarding to the classes, courses, fee structure, etc. The link will be in the description box below. The entire program is curated in Lexi IS Academy in such a way that you will have personalized training, handheld guidance as to how to clear your UPSC civil service examination, be it from your prelims mock test or your mains answer writing, or be it with respect to mock panel interview. You have dedicated faculties who are there available for your doubts, mentoring, and any other issues you face with respect to your civil service examinations. If you feel like you need to have a look at how the classes are, you can go to Lexi IS mobile application for instant access to demo class, or you can schedule one in the offline too. For those of you who are appearing for 2025 prelims, Legacy IAS Academy has come up with free all India prelims mock test. Do make yourself available to this, see how your preparation is, and make necessary changes. Now, coming back to the video. For those of you who are watching for the first time, this is a thing that we do with our videos. I will tell it to you like a story, you listen to it like a story. Now, consider it in three ways. USA, Iran, Russia. Like I told in the introduction, USA told Iran it will bomb to an extent that it has not seen ever before. Russia came in telling that, hey, you can't do those things. If you do those things, you will face catastrophic events. This was our title. Yes, I also told you this is coming amidst a time where your Ukraine and Russia war is happening, and for which USA is trying to piece a deal with Russia to reach a ceasefire agreement to an extent that it doesn't even feel the need to include Ukraine in this, which has received huge condemnation from your other European allies. Now, the question that will bring in is, first of all, why is USA telling it will bomb Iran? Second question is, why is Russia coming to the aid of Iran and not any of your West Asian allies? First question we will address. Why is USA telling that it will bomb Iran? This story goes back to a very long period of time, but this is a short video, so we'll try to keep it as crisp as possible. When it was with respect to your Iran, USA, constant conflict. Now let's consider this West Asia bloc, just the specific West Asia bloc. Iran and its members, other West Asian members, let's say Saudi Arabia, constant conflicts, okay, over the fact of your age old Shia Sunni conflict. Iran is your Shia side, Saudi is your Sunni side. So this conflict went on happening, and also Iran's nuclear program was a threat to the entire West Asia. Your Saudi Arabia and USA are like BFFs. Okay, Saudi Arabia is in that region trying to gain predominance is with your US help. Iran and USA have been on conflict, more of a lot of conflicts. So what happened during your Obama administration, Barack Obama administration? They pieced in a treaty together, a joint deal, that was your Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, which was nothing but your 2015 Tehran deal or 2015 Iran nuclear deal. Constantly, USA, if you see, USA's way of dealing with a nation is either through sanctions or full fledged war. Both of those are equally deadly. It went ahead and put huge amount of sanctions on Iran. So much so to an extent where Iran's economy was completely ruined. Inflation, unemployment, everything was high rise. At this point of time, USA came in telling that if you reduce your nuclear weapon enrichment or nuclear enrichment program, we will reduce some of the sanctions we have put on you. Okay, the sanctions, now when we tell, US has put a lot of sanctions on Iran, sanctions on the cause of your humanitarian crisis, sanctions on the cause of your increasing ballistic missiles, sanctions on the cause of nuclear weapons enrichment. Now they said the first two will remain like that only, which is sanctions on humanitarian grounds and sanctions on your increased number of stockpiling of ballistic missiles. Those will remain because we have not reached an agreement on that. But what now we will reach an agreement is on this nuclear program. So whatever sanctions we have put for this, we will remove those. So your economy also will have a betterment. Now, this deal, when USA made back in 2015, it was negotiated by your T5 plus 1, that is your US, UK, France, Russia, China, the permanent 5, plus Germany. Okay, all of these people mediated this deal with Iran, and this was a very difficult deal to be brought in because you have to bring in all the members into this and then try to come up with a deal, and finally a deal came in through. Right now, this deal came in through. This was a huge relief for Iran's economy, which was completely destabilized. Its oil export, that is one of its main ways to finance, yes, that itself got attacked because of the financial constraints and because of your sanctions imposed on the international trade of oil. Now, once this sanction got removed, this was like a breather for Iran. Then it could supply huge amount of oil. Its trade grew. This is the moment that has happened. Now, suddenly, USA pe, there is a change of power, which means former US President your Barack Obama leaves the office. His second term is over. The new president who comes into the USA was your US President Donald Trump. 2018, he backed out of the deal, which means again the sanctions were reimposed on Iran, which angered Iran so much so that it told that our economy, which was just now starting to boom, you are again putting it back. The European allies were very angry on your USA, telling that this is not a single body person or this is not a single member deciding. Unilaterally, how could you decide? This was a multi-member deal. Yes or no? Then how can US do this? They still continued having your trade, especially with your oil with Iran. And US President at that point of time, Donald Trump, agreed for this with the waivers. Okay, I will give you waiver for importing your oil. But this didn't last long. The very next year he cancelled those waiver zones. This brought in a huge tension in the zone. Now, when you see your 2015 Tehran nuclear deal was bought in, how did the West Asian member countries react? For example, Israel hated that deal. Saudi Arabia told it was not included in the negotiation. If at all Iran does anything with regarding to nuclear enrichment, then that is an issue for us. So these two were not happy with it. And especially with US president pulling it off, both Israel and Saudi Arabia were happy. Okay, after that, again, your power changed. Joe Biden came in. Now, again, it is back with your US president Donald Trump only. One thing, if you see now, you see strengthened ties between USA and Saudi Arabia. At the same point of time, you see strengthened, increased participation between your USA and Israel. And all of them are again going back to the same thing. Iran has to come to a deal where it will stop its nuclear program. Otherwise, we will bomb the hell out of it. For this, Iran has, a letter was written by US President Donald Trump and sent to Iran. Iran has told it will not have any direct contact with USA because it has de-honored the letter and spirit of your deal. And it has to do some things to gain the trust of Iran. But at the same point of time, even though Iran hasn't directly had conversation, it sent a letter through Oman government. Understanding? For this, again, Trump has held that no, if they do not come to an agreement on our terms, then we are going to make sure we are going to bomb its nuclear facilities itself. Now, the second question we will come in, why is Russia so interested? See, both Iran and Russia are closer. One of the main reasons from Soviet Union period of time is because your West has always imposed sanctions on both these countries. West always imposes sanctions on Iran as well as Russia. Both of these are your good amount of exporters of each other's products, especially your energy. Understanding? So Russia has grown closer to Iran. USA is telling that now why is it very much bothered about Iran? Why is it now all of a sudden bothered about only the deal? See, another main reason is there is a different strategy that is going on here. The Israel guy. Israel-Hamas war again continued back after your ceasefire agreement broke down. Now, this Israel is now being attacked by your Houthis. Houthis are your terror-based organization from your Yemen, who are backed by Iran. Understanding? This Yemen, where did the Saudi guy go? Okay, let's put this Saudi guy here. Let's put Yemen guy here. One of the major issues that your Saudi Arabia faces is Houthis, and that too right in its neighborhood with your Yemen. This is again backed by Iran. Saudi and Iran, constant Cold War will always go on. Now, this Houthis are attacking Israel because that is also pro-Palestine. At the same point of time, your Yemen Houthis, the positioning they are in, they are attacking and shooting the US ships of trade, cargo, etc. while crossing the Mediterranean. That is the direct connection from Europe to your Asia, which is affecting USA trade also. So, in a manner to curb all of this, to keep their allies, Saudi happy, Israel happy, mainly secure USA's interest, it has to be done Houthis. If it has to be done Houthis, it has to be done Iran. So, all of these are interlinked. This is with regard to your Iran, Russia, and USA. Now, where does India come into this? See, first of all, India wants to get cheap oil imports from Iran. That is, Iranian oil is cheaper for us, which means our energy efficiency and energy sufficiency is a very big thing, especially for a developing country and which is energy hungry country. But because of your USA's CATCASA, that is, it will put sanctions if we buy oil from Iran, makes it difficult for us to have any transactions with them. Also, if tensions between USA and Iran ease off, then our ambitious project of your Chabahar project or with respect to India's wanting to be linked with your north south, okay, transport corridor will be visualized, and also it can check the China presence in the Gwadar port of your Pakistan. So it is a multifaceted one, and also it can lead us to an entry into our Central Asian member countries. So these are all the things that has India concerned over with. Okay. So the threat of bombing Iran's nuclear infrastructure is the way that USA is trying to give or threaten your Iran. Look at this. Your deputy of your Russia has held that threats are indeed being heard, ultimatums are also being heard. We consider such methods inappropriate, we condemn them, and we see them as an attempt to impose US will on Iran. Like I mentioned, Russia, in midst of Ukraine issue, is trying to maintain a peace negotiation with USA to the shock of both EU as well as Ukraine, but yes, is strong on your take on Iran. Look at this. This is your US President Donald Trump. If they don't make the deal, there will be bombing. It will be bombing the likes which they have never seen before. So, first thing is your 2015 Iran nuclear deal. Strict limits on Tehran's nuclear activities in relief for sanctions. So, according to the nuclear program, Iran has always held that it is trying to have this nuclear program for peaceful purposes and not nuclear weapons. So we'll see a little bit on Iran's 2015 nuclear accord, which 2018 Donald Trump backed away from. Now USA is telling if it wants to rejoin the deal, then it wants changes to be made in the ballistic missile stockpiles also, and also Iran's role to be reduced in the proxy conflicts in the West Asia region. Now, what is the 2015 nuclear deal? It was also called as Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which was between Iran and P5+1, that is your permanent 5 plus Germany. Iran agreed to cut its centrifuge, enriched uranium, and heavy water. All of this are very much needed for making of your nuclear weapons. It also said that it will be open for investigations from an international agency, that is inspectors from International Atomic Energy Agency, to inspect so that secretly Iran doesn't make a nuclear weapon. And for that, West agreed to lift sanctions related to Iran's nuclear proliferation. But this JCPOA does not speak about your lifting of sanctions either on humanitarian grounds, or that is the issues that Iran has, nor with respect to ballistic missiles, strictly only with respect to your nuclear proliferation. And at the same point of time, it committed to lifting oil exports, but continue to restrict financial transaction. Despite this, it was considered it as a partial victory. But for your Iran's economy, which was very much in a severed position, this was a fresh breath of air. At this point of time, the other West Asian allies such as Israel strictly hated the deal and it was against it. Saudi Arabia was angry that it was not involved in the negotiations, and it also said that the possibility of Iran's nuclear program is a threat to the entire area. Understanding? These are all your uranium mines, research and enrichment centers. Now, what happened after US pulled out? First of all, the other member countries were critical and vocal, telling this is a multi-lateral deal. How could you, multi-member, multi-body, and your multi-country brought in deal? How can you unilaterally bring in changes, telling that you will walk off from your Iran deal? So they still continue to import Iranian oil. There were waivers which was given to those countries, but just a year later, even those waivers were cancelled off, which again brought huge amount of difficulty for Iran. But as last attempt to make this deal stay alive, other member countries tried to create a barter system known as Instex with Iran, but it only dealt with food and medicine, more of a barter system. But the issue is already there was no sanctions on food and medicine, so not much could be visualized through this. And on January 2020, when your US assassinated the top general of Iranian government, Qasem Soleimani, then the last shred of deal was pulled, and Iran said that it will now no longer limit the uranium enrichment. See, even if we have to go strike a deal back, the more it goes further in uranium enrichment, the more difficult it becomes to come back to the deal. And the more US tries to take a strategy which is only on warfare, further confrontation, it becomes even more escalating rather than de escalating the situation. So, what are the challenges? First, constant conflict between your Iran, Saudi Arabia over your Shia Sunni, and also with respect to Saudi Arabia and US ka relationship becoming more stronger poses again another threat for reaching a peace deal in the agreement. So, what is the significance for it in India? India's more of this, I can tell you. Iran is considered as one of the places for India to enter into the Central Asia and to bring in a way to counter China's presence in Pakistan. India is wanting in your Chabahar port, Bandar Abbas port, again to curb your Chinese presence in Gwadar port, and India's interest to be involved in an international north-south transit corridor which passes through your Iran. So involvement in any of this would be a better thing for India. Again, we could not import Iranian oil is because of US counter American adversaries through Sanctions Act. That is, if US has imposed sanctions on Iran and if India does business with it and US hasn't offered waiver, then it automatically means that there is sanctions put on India also. In that fear, we had to curb or cut down or make net exports, that is, imports zero of your Iranian oil. So now more than ever, US and Iran reaching a common ground would be a betterment for both West Asia, for India, as well as for USA now to a very large extent, looking at how the global scenario is at present with wars, with trade wars, with your actual confrontations. This would be a better scenario rather than further escalating the tensions. We've reached the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.